All right, welcome everyone. My name is Jared Gibson Faber. I'm an assistant director of admissions here at Clark University. We have a pretty awesome panel lined up tonight to talk a little bit about the School of Business Management here at Clark, which spans from undergrad to grad and is kind of ingrained in a variety of spaces on Clark's campus. So I've already talked too much. I think I want to get the panelists immediately involved. So I think in the order that we see on the screen, would you as panelists mind just introducing yourself? So tell me a little bit about yourself and then maybe your role at Clark. So like what you do in the Clark community.
Hi everyone, I'm Alan Eisner, the Dean of the School of Management. We have a wide variety of programs in both at the undergraduate with the management major, as well as some interesting minors that you'll hear about. And a very wide variety of master's programs and kind of all of the business disciplines from accounting through analytics and beyond. So I've actually just joined Clark University, so I'm excited to be here. This is my first student welcome. And so if you decide to come and join us here at the School of Management, I guess I'll be a first year along with you, and in terms of experiencing it. But I come from a long background as a scholar of management and a professor of strategy, and I'm delighted to be a part of Clark. I'm going to let my colleagues take it away.
My name is Jing Zhang. I'm a professor and associate dean. So I actually teach one undergrad class. My class is Introduction to Management Information Systems, and it's also a formal analysis FA course. I also teach a version of first year intensive of the course. So many of you will, if you choose management major, you will for sure take this class, and then a lot of students not taking management major or minor will take this class as the formal analysis class as well. And I joined Clark University in 2003, so I have been here for a long time. Wow. And really have pleasure of working with students from all aspects, all disciplines, and I actually serve as academic advisor now, currently for more than 50 students. So really enjoy talking to students. We'll entertain your questions today.
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Burgess. I'm the Assistant Dean in the School of Management. This November actually marks my 14th year at Clark, which people are always surprised about. And I oversee academic and student services in the School of Management. We have over 500 students between our undergraduate and graduate students, so we have a lot going on in those areas. And basically what that means is no student who is participating in anything in our department will end up graduating without interacting with me in some way. So I look forward to talking with you some more.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Zach Conant. I'm a current sophomore here. I'm a member of the varsity men's lacrosse team. Outside the classroom, in the classroom, I'm a major in econ, minor in data science and management. I've taken a handful of management classes already. And I plan to, go to a track of either the MBA or the MSF. Clubs here at Clark, I am the co-founder and vice president, along with my roommate of the Clark University DECA, which some of you high schoolers may know that it's like a competition-based business club. But at Clark, we're making it more of a network opportunity, get internships, mentorships, and jobs in the future. I can talk a little bit more about that later. So anyone has any questions about clubs or, being a student here at Clark.
Awesome, thank you all. So we've got a lot of different points of views, some been at Clark for a while, some not so much. And I encourage students, you as viewers, to this is a space for you to ask your questions and get your answers. So, use the Q&A feature to ask questions for sure throughout. But I think I'm gonna get the ball rolling actually and ask our panelists some questions just to get things moving. So I think the first thing I'd like to ask of all of our panelists. And I think if we just keep going in maybe the order of that we did introductions in, it might be easiest. But the first thing I want to ask is, what excites you about your field of study? So specifically management. And you could talk really broadly about the field, or you can talk narrowly about like an experience you have, but just what gets you excited about business management?
So I have been studying management for, 28 years, I guess. So a little while. Yeah, I was trying to think of how many years, a little bit too many, sorry. And I always find it exciting to learn different ways that people can come together and work together, as well as different aspects of management, from human resources, how to deal with people, things in budgeting and accounting that are kind of important for any type of business. How to finance your business, as well as what kind of strategy should a business have. We have a really fantastic crew in terms of our entrepreneurship faculty here, and I would say a large number of the first year students get involved in one of our entrepreneurship experiences, whether it be a course or one of the clubs here. So the thing that excites me the most about management at Clark is the student involvement in all types of clubs and course experiences related to entrepreneurship. We're doing a lot of interesting things with the Maine South community here in Worcester, as well as students that have already started their own businesses on campus and that continue to run them long after they graduate. So as I learn more about the student body and the alumni, I think there are just so many exciting things going on that there's really any aspect of business you could dream about that you want to know more about. We have something for you here. Jing, do you want to add something?
I think you're muted.
Jing, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was in my eloquent mode.
Thank you.
So the thing that excites me in terms of the discipline is how fast my discipline is moving and how relevant the study of this discipline is at college level. So we are at a very exciting time because of the technology changes. So this is both a challenge and as well as an opportunity, I think, for students. It's really an investment at this moment to study the technology-related skills and techniques and then apply it in the business environment. So think about the rise of big data and analytical skills. So using information system to collect information and use it, apply it to, for example, marketing, the most prevalent one, and then use it in auditing, use it in finance, and then in nonprofit, HR, governments, what you have, it's really a very, very useful skills. So I think that's a part, is something that's the School of Management is offering. So we try to really take advantage of the development and then try to really up to the speed of the development with different course offering. So I think our business analytics is especially very strong, and we have a suite of programs at the graduate level. And in the undergrad level, today I was just talking to the UAB, so it's undergrads board reviewing our new program. So we will add a new track of business data analytics to management major. So that's almost is going to be settled. There's a little, approval need to be done, but that's something I think it's really good. It's a good option for the undergrad student. And that's what I like about my discipline. And what I like, the management at Clark is how I observe the student grow, like the confidence part. So I typically teach first year. When I see a student in the first year and they tend to be very hesitating or not really sure what they want to do with their study or their career and their life, and they are not that confident. And then I sometimes would see them in the 5th year at MBA or at a later level. I heard them that they are doing wonderful things. They totally transform. So that's kind of glowing confidence based on what they learned, they're acquired, and they practiced. That's really is amazing transformation. So I think management discipline did wonderful things to these students, gave them this confidence because they did something with the clients. They did some free services, doing accounting for some nonprofit. So these give them the confidence, and a lot of students kind of get very good internship, and then they settled on a very nice career path. So that gives the certainty and assurance. So I think that's what I felt. Why I'm really proud and happy to be in this space.
Thank you.
Hi. Gosh, I would say what excites me the most about this field is just how relevant it always is. Really from the first year with students taking courses. I mean, they're learning skills that I can see them put into place in their student clubs and their leadership work. And it gets applied from day one. And because our program is a broad business management major, I really get excited to see the paths our students and alumni take afterwards, because it can go in so many different directions, because the concepts, the skills that students learn can be taken in so many areas. One that comes to my mind I like to highlight is an alum, Cara Duffy, who worked in the corporate world for quite a few years. And now she does this excellent podcast called Powerful Ladies, and she's growing that into her own company. And it's just so interesting to see, the journeys everyone takes and how they are applying their skills and knowledge after Clark.
Thank you.
Awesome. So what excites me, I'm going to start very broad. If you think about like an economy as a whole and the businesses that run it, larger businesses like Amazon, Fidelity, you always see, you're always buying something on Amazon, but you never think, kind of what goes on behind the scenes. Why is Amazon doing as well as it is? And I think it speaks really importantly to how well the company's managed. And I've always found that really interesting. And all the way down to, smaller businesses you might see in your little hometown. I think it's really cool. And I believe it's really important background to our economy to understand, how these companies, why companies are being really successful and why companies are failing on the other hand. When it comes to Clark, for myself, as I've started DECA, I learned from, a couple of my first classes, what makes a good leader and, what makes a good leader and what makes kind of a successful business / club. And, we've been trying to follow that, field to get in our club rolling. And I just find it really exciting, that you can learn so much and that, one false step may, put you back a little bit, but you need to be able to learn and be able to react, accordingly in order to, pull yourself out of that. And I think it's really important within management that, you're always meeting new people, learning new things. It's kind of like one thing where you're sitting around all day doing nothing. You're always, dealing with something on one end, answering an email with someone else, meeting with someone new, trying to, expand your company or your business or your club or whatever it is. It's always something new, always something exciting going on in the management field.
Awesome. Thank you all. Yeah, it sounds like a common thread of relevancy and just this dynamic movement within business management that is exciting. I mean, I want to study it now. But I want to keep asking questions of our panelists. Students, feel free to use the Q&A to get some questions in before I open that up. But we've already touched on this a little bit with our responses, but kind of centering Clark now. what are some of the perks of studying business management at Clark? Or is it small class sizes, or is there like a tangible, I don't know, thing that students gain taking courses at Clark? Like what does Clark do well with business management? You want to start, Alan?
Sure. I think it's really the connections that students can make with our faculty in doing projects that are sort of live for companies. If you take a marketing course with Tom Murphy, you're going to work for LL Bean on a project, a live project of theirs, or IKEA, or another really interesting company. So it's not just an academic exercise, but in addition, you'll be hands-on meeting managers at a real company. Who knows if that'll be where your first internship is. So I think there's a real practical aspect to studying management at Clark. And I think that's sort of one of the big perks. I'll let Jing speak more about it, though.
Yep. I think small classroom. So for example, my first year intensive class at most have 20 students. So this semester, especially, it's the advantage of having small classroom was especially salient because the social distance, because the online format. So having a small classroom allows me to intervene individually. If someone has a problem, I really would shoot a message and telling, can we meet? And then we need to catch up with this and that. So that intimate relationship was always there. So that's one of the things that I like about Clark. The second is, I think, the bird of a feather kind of element. So here you don't see a lot of people really, coming to study management because I want to make tons of money, or I want to conquer the world. Those typical things, I think for the management student are trying to be successful. I have to say they want to be successful financially and then with their life, being responsible, but also want to do a lot of things that's good for the society and for the organization that they will contribute to. So I think the corporate social responsibilities, sustainabilities, social goods is ingrained in the curriculum of the business management curriculum throughout. And also I think that is one of the appeal that attract the faculty as well as the students. So it's almost like people really like this theme and they want to use their position in the society to make the society works better. So I think that is a unique aspect of the business management at Clark University. So that's what I thought.
Thank you.
Jared, it's hard to narrow down the perks, but I will try because so many really do come to my mind. I mean, as Alan touched upon with our accreditation, less than 5% of business schools have it. And I think having an AACSB accredited program with all of the strengths that come with that at a small liberal arts school like Clark is really unique. And so it means you're getting this world-class business management education, but within this different environment than you'll get at most other AACSB accredited schools. And what I love about that is that means, within your class, you're going to have students who are studying psychology, who are studying studio art and bringing the skills and concepts they're learning from those programs into the management classes and adding to the discussion and what you're learning. And that means for our students as well, they really complement their business management studies with these other areas that are maybe just an interest or a passion of theirs. And kind of they realize later on how they can merge the two and bring them together. I think for a small school in Worcester, we are so global. And I think that is a huge perk. this getting to know the students at Clark has enriched my own life personally. It is one of the things I love about Clark, and I think it's a really unique opportunity to go to a small school but meet students literally from all over the world, all different walks of life. It just exposes you to so much. Um, and I think, as I said too, I mean, Clark, it's small. Our classes are small, and you really get that personal connection. Our faculty, our staff, we stay in touch with people once they graduate because we got to know them really well as students, and that comes back and helps out our current students. I don't think a week goes by where I don't have some kind of communication with some of our alumni for different things. And because you're sitting in a class of 20 people, or we have, enough people around to just simply meet with you one-on-one when you have questions and you're looking for advice on things. And so we really can build relationships with our students. And I'll leave it at that. I could go on more, but.
Thank you.
I 100% agree. There is so many perks, within the school management here. I can talk to a couple, but I can't mention them all. One of the ones that, kind of really caught my eye first time I came in here is I noticed that Clark's, especially the school management, it's more of not like, you're sitting around taking notes all day, which yes, we do take notes. You need to, learn in the classroom, but also at the same time we go out and we do things. I know my first class was my FYI class was Management 100. I went and I sat down and it was just me and a bunch of kids I didn't really know. And I was looking around and there was like 20 of us, and she starts teaching, giving notes. At the end of class, she's talking about our first project already. And I was like blown away. And our first project was actually to go out and work with a nonprofit, organization within the city of Worcester. And kind of, she didn't give us much of a background. She just said, you got to go work with them, do something for them, good luck. And it wasn't more of her just kicking us out the door and not saying, not helping. She said, I'm here for assistance, but I really want you to kind of learn, go through the process on your own. She helped us, get with the different offices on campus, whether that be the finance office, school management office, community engagement office at Clark. We were able to go out, and I ended up working with a nonprofit that works for children in the area, and we were able to start a fundraiser, and it was a great learning experience. Rather than sitting in the classroom all day, talking about what's good about a business and what makes a successful run event or something like that, we had to go out and do it on our own. And as we were going through that, we had bi-weekly meetings with a teacher outside of the class, talking about what's going right, what's going wrong, what can we learn from that. And I know not just from my experience, but a bunch of, my friends' experiences already at Clark, older guys on my team, who there are a lot of classes just like that within the school management. And I think it's really important to, not only just sit around all day, rather see what the real world's like and, put that into practice. My second example of why, Clark has a lot of perks is, going back to the club that I started, our advisor, Laura, who's on here tonight. She's, a great resource for us. When we started the club, we're trying to build connections. We went to the Career Connection Center, got a strong pipeline from them. And, we went to Laura, and she really helping us out, getting us going as a club. What makes a good leadership team, and they're always available to help. So, as long the road we're taking with our club is, it's going to be a long one. We have so many different things to do, so many goals to achieve. And, the school management is always having our backing. And if Laura can't get the answer, she's pointing us to someone who can, because, there's so many of the teachers and, faculty here at Clark that, can help us get those answers, have those connections, know what it takes to start a good club, start a good team.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So many awesome things to just break down there. I love the bird of a feather piece about just altruism and the way that students approach business management, because it is honestly a field that students, might think about like, yeah, I want to make tons and tons of money, but that's really not the vibe at Clark, I think. And I might sound a little cliche here, but our motto is challenge, convention, change our world. And I think that really resonates with students throughout academic spaces. And students who do study business management at Clark see problems in the world and want to solve them with efficient, useful, products or business or something like that. So exactly. I especially love that piece for sure.
And our alum also talk about it. They talked about they hire Clark students because of that vibe. So
Yeah, awesome. So those are the two questions that I wanted to ask of our panelists. And now I really want to encourage students to, if you have anything, just pop it in the Q&A. But we do have a couple of things already. And one question that is dying to get answered is, can we talk a little bit about internship opportunities for specifically business management majors? I know that we've already talked about a couple of classes, like especially Zach's class, where the professor wanted you to go out and work with a nonprofit. And that definitely builds connections and things. But whether it is a piece of the curriculum or something outside of the curriculum, can we just talk about maybe internships for business management majors?
Yeah, Laura, you want to grab that one?
Yeah, I'll talk a little and then Zach, I'll have you jump on too. So right now in our program, we don't require an internship for our majors, but that's really because we don't have to. Students are completing sometimes 3 or 4 before they graduate. And so we have a lot of resources and opportunities for students. Obviously the main one being the Career Connection Center, which is a great starting point for our students to just learn the skills they need to polish all of the pieces that come with the application in terms of resume and how to interview well and how to make your LinkedIn profile look professional and things like that. And then the both Career Connections and our SOM Career Services office, they're constantly connecting with alumni and people in the community to seek out opportunities for our students. And then a lot of students too have just made connections from guest speakers that have been brought into classes. The students understand follow up with a simple thank you note and grow that connection from there. We've had a lot of internships come from connections students have made through the classroom with outside projects and guest speakers that they know to follow up with. And then we're always trying, we had our virtual career fair the other day, trying to bring organizations usually to campus. In this case, at least just connect with students. I was talking with my grad assistant earlier today, actually, and she has 3 follow-up meetings with companies that she talked to during the virtual career fair lined up for the next few weeks. So, there's really definitely a lot of opportunities and a lot of people along the way who will help students with that. And then we have students go, they use it as a springboard to try out areas like banking and investments and human resources, marketing, and then students sometimes grow from the smaller ones to the larger ones. So, someone might start off with something small at a local bank after their first or second year, but then they end up at Fidelity or Merrill Lynch by the time they're a junior. Zach, you want to add to that too?
Yeah, I can add a little bit from the student side. I think with Clark, the opportunities that I've seen, for myself and for friends of mine, is that, you can go through the Career Connection Center, which is obviously an awesome piece. But there's so many other small ways along the campus, along your time at school to grab an internship. I know one of the classes I'm going to take this Intersessions Marketing to You class. One of the teachers really likes to help his students out and he gets to know them more personally. And a lot of them end up getting an internship in that class. And then just another way that students are getting internships, even sometimes jobs on campus, or through those career fair days. And then clubs specifically, I know mine we plan to do in the future, but other clubs, bring guest speakers onto campus. And through that, you're able to meet a lot of different people in a lot of different fields. I know one of the companies I'm going down to work for this summer is going to come up and actually do it over Zoom because they can't come, but and speak to our club a little bit about, how he got there, where he's going. And for me, it's going to be, a little bit of a trial, see if I actually like the field I'm going to. But, I feel like on campus, whether that be through Connection Center, career days, or clubs, is always kind of an internship, mentorship job that you'll be able to find before you graduate.
And I just want to add on to that, clubs, because that reminded me of another thing, a perk of having some of the student chapters of larger organizations like DECA, like the American Marketing Associations. I know students that are official members of these clubs have access to the broader national organization. So like I know AMA students get invited to some of the Boston Professional Chapter, professional development and networking events and things like that. Again, they're virtual this year, but they're still attending, which is fantastic. And it's just a way to grow their network beyond Clark.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. And I know working in admissions, there's actually a statistic that 84% of our undergraduate students across the board engage in at least one internship or similar experience before senior year. So I know, especially in business management, but I think it's more indicative of just the Clark experience overall, that it's a really kind of practical, active place to learn, which is, I feel like, the way to do it, but I might be biased. But anyway, thank you. Another question I've got, another one just came in. Oh, this is a solid question. I'm gonna skip what I was gonna ask. I'll ask it later, but I'm gonna ask this one. What's the main difference between the minor and major? Can you still get internships if you're pursuing a minor? Like, what do you still have access to if you're only going for a minor versus the major? Just fundamentally, what's the difference there?
Yeah, I can definitely talk about that. I mean, really, the main difference is sort of the amount of subjects you get exposed to, because the minor, to finish it, is just 6 courses, whereas, the major, you're taking around 15 courses in the area. Um, and while students can complete the minor and go beyond those 6, usually they have a pretty packed schedule. So students who will take a minor often will kind of focus that coursework more in a specific area. Maybe they'll take accounting and finance classes if that's more of their interest, or focus more in general management. And then we have the separate marketing minor now. So I would just say it's sort of like the scope and breadth of topics you get exposed to, which I do think is a perk of the major, is how much you get exposed to. It's not always going to be your favorite. I always use myself as a good example. Like, I studied more, marketing, communications, public relations as an undergraduate, and never took a single class related to accounting or finance. And, 2 years out of college, I realized that probably wasn't great. So it kind of gives you more of that breadth than kind of just focusing in with just a few courses in that one area.
Awesome. Thank you. I think something else important to think about too is, we've already talked about how the accreditation piece, less than 5% of schools worldwide, am I correct on that? Have that, which is pretty great. Nice, thank you. But something else I think that's important to talk about too is our 5th year program. I think some students in the audience might know that we offer a variety of degrees at an accelerated pace, tuition free. So does anyone want to maybe talk a little bit about the 5th year advanced degree programs for management specifically?
Laura, or Jane, you want
I don't want to monopolize. So within the School of Management, we do have options for 5th year with a lot of our MS programs. We have accounting, finance, business analytics, marketing, and management. So the idea is you have that opportunity to kind of hone in at the graduate level if you want to, and have the chance to explore some of these fields as an undergraduate. So it really is a great opportunity. You get started senior year with some graduate courses. You're able to finish it up in just that additional 5th year. In the School of Management, our MS in management is offered at the full tuition coverage. The more technical MS programs are at a 50% off rate in the 5th year. And a lot of them you can come from lots of different academic backgrounds and pursue as well. They might have a few prerequisites, but we have students, in finance that have studied econ, management, math, computer science, and they're bringing those strong quantitative skills into that area. Jing, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, so and also to mention that because you can take some courses in your senior year, so the tuition is more than 50%. I think the discount, because the senior year is included in your senior year's tuition. So what end up perhaps is 8 course in the MS degrees is 50% discounted. But that really includes a lot of the very popular, highly demanded degree. For example, in marketing, master in marketing, marketing analytics, accounting analytics, and business analytics. Of course, also finance, Master of Science in Finance.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, for those students that aren't that familiar with analytics, this is a kind of new and exciting area. And, analytics is really an addition to these kind of base fields in business, where students learn how to analyze very large data sets, visualize data in new ways. And if you kind of think about your web surfing experience, generates a lot of data that companies use. Well, we'll teach you how to, analyze and harness that data for your firm, so that you spend your advertising dollars going after customers that might be most interested in your products or services, or the, charity that you're trying to attract donors for. So it's kind of a new area, and I think I've even done it an injustice. Jing might be able to say a few more words about some of our analytics disciplines.
Yeah, so actually it started in undergraduate year as well. So a lot of this, for example, in my course, Introduction to MIS, I have been changing this course quite a bit to make it more a preparing course for analytical thinking, because I find that so the students, when you talk about internship, when you talk about jobs, and what matters is what prepares the student to do the internship. And I find a lot of times students have this resume when they put the practical skills, the kind of software that they can use, and then the kind of analysis they can conduct, and they suddenly become much more helpful for organization, especially for a small-sized organization that doesn't have the kind of resource to hire specialized professionals. So they suddenly find the student actually can educate them how to use the technology. So in my course, I do a lot of the hands-on stuff with, for example, pivot table, a large set of data, and reduce it to small size and see the patterns, do multi-dimensional analysis. And then we work with Access and to see how the data actually is built into the databases and how to extract the data through certain queries. So all these things is highly practical, but very useful. So for example, in the final project, I would ask students to create a fictional business and use PowerPoint to present this business idea, and then to use Excel to build a decision support system to analyze scenarios. What if the economy is going well, and what if the material of the price of the material goes up and down, and then use Access as a database tool to support the operations, and then build a web page to market their the company's concept. So these are very practical skills that could gear the student toward this analytical thinking. So when they go onto the capstone course, for example, they would use data from finance, from marketing, and then from accounting, and conduct in-depth external analysis, internal analysis. So we hear sometimes the student come back to us saying that they get this wonderful intern or job because of this in-depth critical thinking, analytical thinking. For the graduate level business analytics, we go much deeper. So we really have the discipline oriented into, 3 groups. You need to learn more about how to use statistical means like machine learning to analyze the large sets of data and then develop models. And then you need to use Python on coding skills to extract data, clean the data, and then analyze the data. And then you learn more of different disciplines. So each of that, the purpose is crystallize in the middle to give the students both the technical skills, but also the skill that they would be able to tell a story. to the decision maker. So they would be able to say what is relevant and how you would be able to make a decision that is consequential. So that's my understanding of the MSBA degree.
Awesome, thank you. I think, yeah, data analytics it's newer, but I think you already see so much value in the type of classes and the skills that students are picking up through those courses. So we're almost out of time here, but I think we can answer one more question. And I think the one I want to choose is, we got a question that's, in your opinion, and I'm going to let Zach take this one, just Zach, I think. What's the most interesting and fun class and why? Not to put you on the spot, Zach, sorry.
Oh, that is a good question. I would say in the management field, my top two favorites, I've already talked about one, which is the FYI class. So I'll go over into, that's a good question. Actually, maybe I'll talk a little bit more about the FYI class. So basically the most exciting way for me, because I've only taken 3 or 4 classes in the management field so far, was, working with that nonprofit organization and being able to, kind of, you're not in a classroom feel. And I think that's really exciting is like, you sign up for a class and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna be, from 125 to 240 on a Monday and a Wednesday, I'm gonna be sitting in the classroom. And, that's not what it was at all. And I thought that was really exciting for me, is because, I like to get moving. I like to be out. I like to talk. I don't like to, I like to sit around sometimes, but, mostly I like to be outside doing stuff. So it was a great time to, go out and then go work with that nonprofit organization. And I just think within the classroom, as I already talked in depth about, kind of how it worked outside, but in the classroom, we were expected, give presentations about what we're doing, whether that be, I think it was by quarter. So like the first quarter update, halfway update, third quarter, and then your final presentation. So it was 4 presentations. And when you're in the business world, from my understanding, from people I've talked to, there's always presentations to do. Everyone needs to be up to date on a team. You need to be able to, relay information to people, whether that be investors in your company or people working for you in your company, what's going on inside your company. For us, for that little fundraiser we were running, we need to keep people up to date. What we were doing, especially the teacher, being the one that's grading us on the report. But no, it was a really awesome experience. We were able to, we had to wear ties in nice clothing, nice attire. So it was more professional. I thought that was really exciting. Everyone got really excited to hear about, what everyone else was doing. There were so many different types of things people were doing. People were doing like a pumpkin drive for a local farm. I was working for, an organization. Someone was making like chocolate apples and selling them. It was like, there was so many different ways that people were taking them. It was really exciting, kind of get in and share, and learn from other groups about maybe, hey, this is what they're doing better. This is why they're getting more money for that organization. This is where they're going wrong. I always just thought that was really exciting, dress up all nice and, give a little presentation to people, and then go out in the real world and do some work.
Yeah, for sure. No, and I love that you highlight that class again, because I do think there's a lot of value in the intro level business management class, that first kind of taste of business management, being a course in which that you go out there and you actually work with organizations, with nonprofits, and it really sets the tone, I think, for the entire major, being one that's active and really practical in usage. So awesome. I think that's an awesome spot to end. It's been about 45 minutes. Time does fly. Before we go, though, I want to thank all of the viewers for spending time with us. We realize that Zoom fatigue is legit. So for you to be here on a Friday afternoon, evening, depending on where you are, I guess, it means a lot to us. So glad you could join us. Panelists, thank you so much for all of the great information you relayed to me and all the viewers at home. But I'm going to quickly get to this last slide. There are a couple more webinars for Clarktoberfest upcoming. Just keep an eye out for those. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to admissions@clarku.edu. We can be in touch with all of our panelists. So if you have specific questions for panelists, we can get you in touch with them. So, but yeah, thank you everybody for being here, and I hope everybody has a good evening. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.